Without further ado, Claire, the floor is yours. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much, Abby. Thanks so much for the invitation to talk about the journal. I've got some slides, only 7 slides, just to give you a bit of an overview. So, Abby had invited me to come along to talk about iJADE, which is the International Journal of Art and Design Education, and just a little bit of the work that we do there. Seeing some people in the room, I know that there's some people who already know a lot about iJADE, but hopefully I'll give you some updates. I have got a sneaky preview, and I've seen Sophie Leach is in the room, and Diane, and I was sworn to secrecy if not to reveal that the conference call yet, too early. So don't tell anybody that I'm sharing that in this event. I was like, and I won't send you the slides because it's got the full call on there. I know, Sophie, it'll be good and you won't tell anybody about that. So thanks very much. Let me just share my screen. So, and I just tested this, didn't I already? Um, However, I've now closed it. So just give me a minute. There we are, back on again. Sorry about this. Just check again where we are with that. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, I was going to say you're all very quiet, but I can see everybody's on mute, so there might be lots of noise going on in your backgrounds. And as I say, thanks very much, Abby, for the invitation to talk to this event. I hope you're having a good day, and I'm sure there's lots that's great that's going on. So let me just have a little check on my slides, to and froing. Right. Okay. So I'm Claire Penketh. I might have met quite a few of you before. You might have been to events, or you might have already contributed, or you might have read articles in iJADE. So this is the International Journal of Art and Design Education. The slide here is from an issue, a special issue on time that was from a conference, not last November, the November before. That was our conference special issue. So I'm principal editor of iJADE, and it is a real privilege to be a principal editor of iJADE. There's lots of really great people who've gone before me in this role. My main role there as principal editor is just to oversee all the editorial processes, along with my colleague Emma Ariam Manesh, who's our editorial manager, who's been involved with the journal for a long, long time. I'll just note the image on the issue here. So this was issue 43.4. As you can see from 43.4, we've been got issues of iJADE going back over 40 years now. We've been publishing research in art and design education. So the special issue here has got an image that reflects work by Christopher Samuel, who was one of the presenters of our conference. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the relationship between our conferences and the journal as well. So we were just having a conversation with Diane and her cat, who's on the screen here. This is a lovely image that's in one of the papers in issue 44.1 by Annika Hellman, cat. If you're interested in that, look at issue 44.1. If you are a member of NSEAD, National Society for Education in Art and Design, then you will have access to these issues of iJADE. I'm not sure in the call how many people have got access to iJADE. If you're a member of an institution, usually iJADE is available as part of institutional packages. So if you work in a university or an FE college, then it may be that you can access in that way as well. So, just a little bit of background about the journal. As I say, it's been going for over 40 years. It is jointly owned by Wiley Publishers, but also it's owned by the National Society for Education in Art and Design. And it's one of a number of publications that NSEAD run. The other one, which I'm told is far more visually stimulating in many ways, is AD. And you can see I've grabbed the posters out of AD straight away. So the International Journal of Art and Design Education provides an international forum for research in the field of of art, craft and design education. And it's important to note that it is an international journal. So AD is a magazine format for NSEAD, and is very much concerned with important national initiatives. iJADE is different in that it's an academic journal and it's an international journal. So we have contributors from a range of different international contexts. Its primary source for publication and dissemination of independently refereed articles. So this means that somebody will submit their research to us. The editorial board sends that research out to a number of referees, and then we'll get feedback which informs it. So it is a peer-reviewed journal. And we're interested in publishing work in art, craft, design, creativity, art history from all phases of formal and informal education, including museum and gallery education, as well as community-based initiatives. So we don't only publish work that's to do with school-based art education or university-based. And if anybody had any ideas around or thinking about maybe contributing, you're writing to iJADE. My contact details are on the last slide, so you can ask about that. But if you look through back issues, you'll see it's evident there that we publish from quite a wide range of areas there. What we do have to say, though, is that there is a caveat there that it has to be about art, design, craft, education, whether the context for that education can be wide, but it must address education in that way. Am I going too fast, too slow? Get on with it, Claire. Or pace okay? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. So, one of the initiatives that I put in place, I've been principal editor for 2 years or so now. And one of the things that we did quite quickly was to implement special issues. And this means that we could have really nice focused issues. So we have general issues which cover a wide range of ideas and a wide range of research, but we've also got special issues. And this is important because you might want to contribute to a special issue in the future, but you might also want to propose a special issue. So if you've got a theme that you were particularly interested in, then we're open to people proposing special issues. So on the slide, on the left-hand side, my left-hand side here, we've got a special issue that was co-edited by Professor Dennis Atkinson and Professor John Baldacchino. And this was a special issue revisiting arts education. What are the current or contemporary philosophies in art education on an international perspective? And there's a range of papers within that special issue. And that is currently out. That's been out for a while now. That came out last year. But coming up, we've got an imagination special issue. The guest editor there is Professor Penny Hay. I don't know if I'm sure that a lot of people actually would know of Penny's work as Professor of Imagination. So this is a collection of issues around imagination and its relationship with art, craft and design education. We're currently developing a methodologies issue. So we've got papers that are currently being processed there. Professor Pat Thompson, Dr. Abby MacDonald and Dr. Kate Coleman. We were very, very pleased to have them as an editorial group working on a methodologies special issue. And here we were really interested in the ways that art educators are informing methodologies for research, and hopefully looking at some quite innovative approaches to methodologies for research. There's a proposed artist teacher special issue with Dr. Rachel Payne and Dr. Carol Wild, and that is due to be launched. So we haven't yet launched that, and I think that looks like that could be a particularly interesting special issue for the group that are gathered here today. So you need to keep a lookout for that. We'll distribute that through our networks when we're ready to launch that special issue call. What happens usually with those is either people are invited to contribute to those issues, and sometimes those are put out through a general call for people to engage with. Again, those are circulated through our NSEAD networks as well as through iJADE networks, and Diane I'll tell you more about how we do the comms around that. We've got new comms people in place who would be circulating that, but certainly Abby, you'd be well placed to circulate information on any of those calls. So look out. Imagination is due to be published soon. Methodologies, we've not got a publication date yet, but that's already in progress. As I say, the artist teacher issue might be something that you might think about contributing to. So keep a lookout for that. As well as the journals, so in terms of the journals published in digital formats, we do very few hard copy. I think Wiley only actually prints 60 copies of it nowadays. It's a very different format now. All of the papers that come through once they're accepted are out for digital release. So it's a very, there's always a very sort of fluid output from the journal. So always new papers to look out for. And you can note those on the Wiley iJADE web page. Those would always be flagged up, particularly on the web pages there. They show any sort of open access content. A significant amount of the journal is open access content. So even if you can't access it through an institution or through NSEAD, you would be able to access, I would say now the majority of the journal content is going open access. But one of the other things that we do is we're very keen to get people together in conference events, similar maybe to today. We have an annual conference. We're currently planning for the 14th iJADE conference. We have had slight interruptions for various circumstances, but we're now in a cycle of having an annual conference. And I'll just highlight, there was one from 2023 on time. So we often have quite open sort of themes where people can generate responses to this. The whole point around these conferences is to recognise our research community, but also to build that research community. And iJADE is under actually Professor Jeff Adams oversight. He had oversight of the iJADE conferences initially, and I was part of that team. One thing we wanted to do was to really try and get people together and build that research community. But we were very keen to invite people who are not used to maybe presenting at conferences, maybe people who've not written for iJADE before. There was a real push there to make sure that we've not just got the same old people. Not that there's anything wrong with the same old people. I am one of the same old people. But it's great to get fresh insights in, and also to think that people might publish for the first time in iJADE as a conference issue. So the conferences are directly linked to a conference issue of iJADE, and that's a space where we can really celebrate new and maybe different sort of contributions to iJADE. So we had one on time there. The one in November was described as being quite a contentious issue, which sadly peace is a contentious issue. But there was a super conference that we hosted here at my home venue at Liverpool Hope University. The conference is run as an online event. And they also run as a face-to-face event, because we know that online is a fantastic way of getting people together, particularly international contributions. But we also know that people really value being together and physically being together. So that takes me into this is what I wasn't meant to show you. So if anybody asks. So we haven't actually officially launched this conference yet. So this is your sneak preview. The conference theme is ecologies. And this is going to be hosted at Arnolfini, Bristol's International Centre for Contemporary Arts, if people know of Arnolfini. But nicely, we have an online day on Thursday, the 6th of November. And we then have that as a face-to-face day on Saturday, the 8th of November. This is imminently going to be launched. And what will happen then is we'll invite people to think about the ways that they may interpret and explore ideas around ecologies. And this is a little snippet again. If anybody asks, I didn't show you this. Ecologies, a conference call for November 2025. And these are just some of the themes that might be explored. Advocacy and activism in teaching the arts, creative teaching and learning in post-human contexts, environmental conservation and art education. So any specific projects where you're thinking around environmental conservation would definitely be relevant here. Artist teacher practices, again, very relevant for your theme today. Sustenance, how we sustain those practices. Rich habitats for artistic education, art classroom ecologies, promoting sustainable school curricula, globalized economies in their attitude to arts education, and artful thinking in the natural sciences classroom. And I have to just mention that Dr. Will Grant is the person on the editorial team who's developed this conference call and has proposed that for the conference at Arnolfini. So it's an exciting call. I know already from a number of people in the room that this will really resonate as a really relevant theme for everybody. And again, if you think I'm not sure quite if my idea would fit with this conference, then do just drop us a line. You can email me, or you can follow up on the contact email when the conference call is launched. Abby, that's what I had for our little
wonderful timing. We've got a couple of minutes, so if anyone does have any questions or thoughts, feel free to pop them in the chat. You probably saw me writing down many of the things you were saying, Claire. I love a conference. There we go. Something's popped in the chat.
I just love Ronnie's Bristol woohoo.
Yes.
I have to say.
And so Ronnie is going to be delivering our creative workshop at the end of our conference today. So perhaps you'll see her in Bristol as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Michelle, absolutely agree. Wonderful tour of iJADE and everything that it offers. I will say I think it was the first journal that I published in as well. Very supportive process. So if you want to dip your toe into that world, go for it. We've had you have that fear of missing out, don't you, of online conferences and any conference. So in panel one, at least, lots of ideas that I think would make wonderful contributions to iJADE. And we do have quite a strong international audience in the room today as well.
Fantastic. That's great to know. As I say, that I will share the slides with you. If you want to then circulate it to your list, it's got my contact on. So that is, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, we have a little Padlet board going on today, so that we'll pop it on there. And then people can make contact if they would like to. Just some thanks in the chat for you as well. Yeah, very welcoming. Wonderful. Oh, lovely. And some links. Sophie has popped some links in there.
Thanks very much, Sophie. Yeah, there's lots of ways that you can access it. So as I say, if you're NSEAD members, you have got access to this journal anyway. But for other people, as I say, there's so much open access information, and so many papers now are open access through those routes. So I would follow up, definitely. Something for everybody there.
Brilliant, thank you. And Claire, if you have any other social media presences or anything that you want to pop in the chat so people can track you down, and we'll track iJADE down.
Well, certainly Diane will be able to follow up in terms of the social media aspects for iJADE and for NSEAD. Personally, I'm not strong at the moment on social media, so apologies for everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you've had a busy day, so thank you for finding.
No, I'm going back to teaching now, so that's great.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.